Welcome to Lock It Down Sports. I'm your host, Locke Hoover. You can me over at X Lock It Up Media. That's Lock It Up Media over on X. You can also follow us at E5280 Sports. That's E5280 Sports. And today on the show, what a Hall of Famer said about today's hitting approach, why this is way down the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. Plus, it's Kirk Cousins' town for a week. But first, I want to get into this, and that is the Pac-12 is back. Well, kind of. So, you may have seen or heard Washington State's going to be having some new friends join them, as Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State are confirmed they're leaving the Mountain West to join the Pac-12 in 2026. It might be 2025, excuse me. So that brings the conference to 6, and they're going to add more. I mean, now it's only a question of, where do they go? Who else are they adding? What direction are they taking this? I mean, it's funny enough. Do Cal and Stanford want to leave the ACC and join the Pac-12 again? I mean, it makes sense. Obviously, geographically, they want to be with other West Coast schools. But are they really going to leave the ACC after just joining them? Now, interesting enough, they're not going to receive their full revenue share until its 10th year in the league. So 2033 is the first year they will get their full conference revenue share in the ACC. Now, do they actually stay in the ACC that long, or do they go back to the Pac-12, or do they go to the Big 12 now? Who knows? But to their 10th year. But my other question is, why would they want to go back to the Pac-12 when it's a totally different conference from what it was when they were there? Why would they want to join the Mountain West, basically? Because you got the best of the Mountain West, along with Washington State and Oregon State. What financial gain is that for Cal and Stanford? Yes, you're going to cut down the travel costs and travel expenses and all that. But what else? You've already got a known TV deal in the ACC. I don't see how the Pac-12 or the Pac whatever number they want to be is going to get a better TV deal than the ACC. I don't. Now, some of their current targets, the Pac-12's current targets are Memphis and Tulane from the AAC. And then you got your others, a UTEP, a Tulsa, maybe a South Florida. Those are all the potential targets that they're looking at going after from the AAC, American Athletic Conference. Then you get 2 of those. You get Memphis and Tulane, you're up to 8. You get those 3 others, 9, 10, and 11. You're up to 11. To me, I still don't see them as a Power 5 conference. And I don't think they should get an automatic bid to the playoffs. I mean, look at those schools. They're all about the same. There's no feared school coming to them. There's no powerful Southern Cal anymore. Oregon and Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, LSU. There's none of those schools in the Pac-12, obviously. To me, they're just the best conference of the non-Power 5 schools. And I get why the other schools want to go. It gets them more money, and they're the best of the group of 5. Now, it's also rumblings and rumors that they might go after Gonzaga, which obviously is a power in hoops, along with UConn, another obviously power in hoops. Them taking them from the Big East as a basketball conference and independent football, of course, they would just be lumped into football for the Pac-12. Gonzaga, the Western Conference. Big-time powerhouse basketball school, obviously. Other rumors to strengthen their basketball programs. It's always interesting to see what schools get picked up, what schools get left out these last few years in the conference realignment and how this all shakes out. I think Memphis and Tulane are just about locks. And then also rumors too, it's like Memphis has a lot of pull in this because it's a new market. FedEx is right there. And feels like they want other schools included. And good for them. They're looking out for their brethren per se. But that's where we're at. No other schools have been announced as of yet. By the time this releases, the news could have already been broken about which other new schools are joining. But as of now, nothing official outside of Boise, Colorado State, Fresno State, and San Diego State. That's it. The other things is just speculation and rumors. So it's going to be fun to see and what transpires in the next few days, weeks, months even. But something that has not been fun, we've been saying it as a Braves fan, if you've been watching them all year, same sentiment goes, it's coming from Chipper Jones and the Braves hitting approach as he joined the Casey de Kluber podcast. Obviously, the main host, Corey Kluber, good pitcher, solid big league pitcher for a number of years in the big leagues. Some interesting things he said regarding the Braves offense and just the overall philosophy of hitting in the big leagues right now. And some of this he's talking about the Braves. A lot of he's talking about the Braves. Said it's frustrating giving up outs night in and night out. And that's exactly what the Braves have done, giving away outs on a nightly basis. And you say, but Locke. Yes, I know. I've got it right here. Some of it is injuries, absolutely. I mean, the list is long and distinguished. Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Sean Murphy, Michael Harris. Yes, I know this, but some of that hadn't changed even with them in the lineup. Yeah, your lineup's a lot less now with Gio Urshela at third, with Ozzie just coming back, but Whit Merrifield out there. You have Ramon Laureano, who's actually swinging it well. But you've got him out there. You had the Eddie Rosarios. You have Adam Duvall, who's still on the roster somehow, some way. Jared Kelnick, young, they like him. We'll see, struggling. This team has to win on the margins now. Small margins with this team, and they haven't been doing that. Another thing which I understand, Chipper can't stand the strikeout. I get it. He didn't strike out a whole lot. Braves do a lot of that. And you can't do that, especially with this current lineup and how they're structured. Chipper's come out and said, can't stand less than 2 outs with runners on scoring position, second or third, not driving them in. Oh, wait, did we just, if I remember serving correctly, the Dodger series, did we not just see that? Braves were 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position against the Dodgers. Unacceptable. Absolutely Unacceptable. Chipper's come out and said, it's like they don't care about the little things to help them win games, which is correct, which is why I like Whit Merrifield on this baseball team, especially how it's currently constructed. No, he's not a slugger, but no, he does. He does the little things to win ball games. He gets that runs over to second and third, lets the next man hit him in. He gets that bunt down. He takes the extra base. A lot of that stuff doesn't show up in the stat sheet. But that's what someone like Whit Merrifield brings to a ball club that definitely needs it, how it's currently constructed with all these injuries. Chipper also said the Braves and Alex Anthopoulos' philosophy is slug and on-base percentage. So obviously he's a big OPS, on-base plus slugging percentage guy. But interesting enough, Chipper said they don't promote the getting on base part enough. And it shows. That's Braves philosophy, and that's around Major League Baseball too. Swinging from the heels. And Chipper said it was great last year for this Braves offense. Obviously it was. All-world numbers, homers, runs driven, et cetera, et cetera. But said when you're not hitting home runs, and you've seen this year, the market corrects itself. You have to do other things to win. You've said this all year. I've said this for the last 3 months with all these injuries. It's a different team with all these injuries, but they still got capable big leaguers that aren't doing the little things to win. And the Cincinnati game on Tuesday, you had Gio Urshela and Orlando Arcia. Missed the ball that they should have had. And know what? That ended up costing them a game against the lowly Reds, who are not good, and you're in the playoff hunt. You're battling for that third wild card spot, third wild card spot. That stuff's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And I was talking with someone about that. I'm just like, you cannot allow this to happen. When you have such small margins to win ball games. Unacceptable. Same thing with the hitting approach this year. Your team is who your team is. You brought in capable, solid big league vets to fill in these gaps with all these injuries. And listen, I'm not undermining these injuries, but the Braves still have big leaguers on this team that should be in the big leagues. Yes, they were all DFA'd. Merrifield, Urshela, Liriano. Still, some of them need to, just as a team as a whole, small margins you have to capitalize on hitting a runner's position. Less than 2 outs, getting that run home from third. It's simple stuff. We frustrated with it, and Chipper's frustrated with it. And I wonder if that's part of why he left. Why he left the Braves from being a part-time hitting instructor. A little bit different philosophies. Chipper's hit the ball line, because he's talked to Braves players. He asked them, what kind of hitter do you want to be? Do you want to hit 30 home runs? Or do you want to hit the ball line to line? I can help you do both, he said. He said that multiple times. I can help you be both. You just got to tell me what you want to be, and I can help you do it. And it sounds like AA Alex Anthopoulos' philosophy is slug, big time slug, and not as much average, which Chipper's frustrated with. And I understand it. He's a little bit old school, but he's also a Hall of Famer. He knows a thing or two about hitting. Braves got 9 games. Let's see if they can do enough of the little things. Or Matt Olson is getting hot. Had a great second half. Marcelo Zuna continued doing what he's doing all year. And Jorge Soler get going. Continue to swing the bat well and see if they can slug them into the playoffs. While you get your lower third of the order, Whit Merrifield, Gio Urshela, We'll see what happens with them with Ozzy comes back. With Ozzy being back, how that playing time situation turns out. Maybe it's Urshela at short and RC is Sutton. Bunch of little options there between short, third with those three players. Because Ozzy is obviously going to be a second. What they do and if they're able to do enough of the little things to get into the playoffs. Now, I know it's early and I'm not talking about playoffs, but what a win for the Atlanta Falcons versus the Eagles on Monday night. I mean, defense, once again, they spent money on it, but you're getting production from this defense. In the first half, looked great. Only allowing one touchdown, and they stopped them on that fourth down attempt. That's big. Have a good defense and play well. And then the first half of the other end of the ball, yeah, I love the running game. What they did, what Robinson and Ajir looked and handled the football, looked good. They finished with 150 total yards for the game. Robinson was 14 for 97. Tyler Jeer 9 for 53. It's two good clips right there. And I loved what they were doing. They were feeding Bijan Robinson. Finished with 18 total touches. He also had 4 catches for 25 out of the backfield. Love the protection from the running backs. You drafted Robinson in the first round to be one of your bell cows, three down back. That's what he's been. That's exactly what he's been. That's what you need and what you're expecting from him. Cousins has looked better in that first half, especially under center. Maybe it was game plan. Maybe it was health. Maybe it was Zach Robinson getting used to play calls. He's never called a game before. Getting used to that. Maybe that was some of it as well. All those things, Cousins looked a lot better. And Cousins said he was still a little nicked up. That's why I was in the pistol. But he was big when you needed it. And he finished with 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, and obviously that clutch drive at the end. So we get to that third quarter, and I'll hold my breath. I mean, it's very Falcon-esque to come down, score a touchdown, and then give the lead right back up. It's like, well, I've seen this maybe before with the Atlanta Falcons. So it's their go. That fourth down conversion, I can't stress you how big that was on their side of the 50. Right? A big. They're driving. I mean, they convert a touchdown lead with 121 left in the third. I'm like, all right, cool. Feeling good about it, right? Or, come on. Obviously, we know the Eagles scored. Cousins, though, by this time, I felt like in that third and fourth quarter, a lot more comfortable, felt good. And he's got a chance to lead this Falcons team. Plenty of time. That's exactly what he does. Leads him down to a touchdown with 34 seconds left. It's tricky, right? You want to score, but you want to leave them as little time as possible. They left them 34 seconds, which to me, that's plenty of time for Philly to get in position to hit a field goal. So once again, deep breath. Can you hold them? Fortunately, 30 seconds left. Philly's driving. The Falcons pick off that football. Into the drive, into the game, essentially with the kneel down. I didn't think the Falcons had it in them because I've seen this Falcons team play enough. It's like same guys, same uniform, different guys. That's the sentiment of the Falcons. We've seen it, and it's alrighty. Here we go. How is it going to be blown this time, right? They were to hang on, and obviously it's a huge win to take yourself to 1-1. But even bigger, both Tampa and New Orleans are 2-0. And you've got Kansas City, who's obviously not going to be an easy task, coming up next. Early season win. You don't want to go down 0-2, potentially looking at the bare of a gun being 0-3 to start the season. Not good playoff odds at all to even start the season 0-2. To be 0-3, it's almost like you could kiss it goodbye. A big win. You're able to get it done. Moving on against Kansas City and see what happens. But you got the hurdle off your back. Big game. Sunday night, you take care of business to be 1-1. Very important. Now, these last 2 weeks in the NFL been a drastic decline. Week 1, teams average 174.7 passing yards per game, 293 total yards per game, which is a 20-year NFL low. Through 2 weeks. Now, 69 touchdown passes. It's the fewest since 2006. 7.1 average target depth, lowest on record. 41% designed running plays. Interesting enough, it's the highest since 2008. Week 2 also had the most field goals in NFL history, was 73. 545 blitz, fewest on record, which is I thought it's interesting. Another interesting. 46% of the time, defenses are playing in too high safety, which is the highest on record. What do I make of these numbers? I think it's 2 things. One is there's no preseason, as in starters don't play the preseason these days. Take those first game and a half, 2 games. Teams are working through it in game action, and some players don't know their full offense, their rhythm. Yeah, you've practiced with Kirk Cousins all off season, or maybe you didn't because he was recovering from his Achilles. So it's slower paced. I mean, Jamar Chase wasn't in rhythm with Joe Burrow. That's another thing. The rhythm that, yes, they played together in college, they played together years, but it's a new year. It's every year's different. The rhythm of the offseason, I think some of it had to do with the injuries, with Tua obviously being out, McCaffrey, Debo, etc. There's a long list of guys being out and banged up that had the production down. Lower touchdown percentage, points, total yards, all that. Because some of your dynamic playmakers are out because of injury. I think also, too, organizations see this like a game. First game is an extra game to work through things, hoping they can get by and win, and treat it kind of like a preseason game. Obviously, your guys are playing full and 100%, but the communication, the rhythm, the flow is off in those games. I think that could be some of it, which is to me that's where we're at. That's what I think it is, and we're gonna see if the offensive numbers pick up. I expect they will as the season goes on. But interesting trends and interesting numbers to start these first 2 weeks of the NFL season. Obviously, week 3 is already underway with Thursday night football, but we'll see where it lies. Numbers lie middle of the season, towards the end of the season as well. But that's just the opening initial 2 weeks of the season where I think where they're at and what I kind of think some of the reasons for are. So as always, you can follow me on X at Lock It Up Media. That's Lock It Up Media on X. You can also check us out E5280 Sports. That's E5280 Sports. I'm Locke Hoover. This is the Lock It Down Sports. Talk to you next week.